to Borboran. Finds Arellano, the open look. Yes, Marcy Arellano gets his second field goal of the game.
A step ahead against everybody and slam.
Kailan, bakit they're in full control of this game?
But what about Cabajo? Ibiging isunod-sunod mo siya. It fouled to Chris Chu. Hooks up the three and catches.
He really looked up the basket for
Welcome back to the UAAP for Jamal Vizcara. Makes the assist. Continues. And puts up a three. And probably the backbreaker for Marnell. Not from Marnell. A tremendous dive by T.Y. Vargas. Rico Bayo Hawker. His first dunk of season 70 of the UAAP. Derby Cruz, pure looking play for the USC Rally.
Sa simpleng galaw, kay daling marating ang nais puntahan. Sa simpleng click, madaling bantayan ang iyong negosyo. Sa simpleng pag-press, agad mong kasama ang mahal mo. Simple lang kasi ang gusto ng Globe, ang maghatid sa inyo ng mga serbisyong madaling gamitin at intindihin.
Taking care of business. Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. Taking care of business, it's alright. Taking care of business all the time. Taking care of business, we're
expected to see this. They all wanted to see this. To some, they needed to see this. Back September 9, we were here talking about blue and green, jockeying for position for the number 2 spot. 9 days later, we're back here again at the Ateneo Coliseum for another certified classic in the making to make that dispute once and for all who will be number 2 and who will hold the twice to beat advantage. Far from over, folks, as UAAP bitter rivals Ateneo de Manila University and De La Salle University go a third and possibly not the last time when they battle it out here at the Big Dome. Hello and good afternoon, I'm Boom Gonzalez for ABS-CBN Sports for the live, exclusive, and continuing coverage of Season 70 of your UAAP here on Studio 23 and all over the world for the Filipino channel. And TJ Manotoc will join us to explain why these players, why these teams end up here at the Ateneo Coliseum once again after missed opportunities and blown chances.
Exactly, Boom. Why are we here and why are they at it again? Well, how did these two teams get here? First of all, talking about Ateneo, they had their fate in their hands against NU last Saturday. A lot of them thought it would have been an easy win since NU had nothing to prove. No chance for them, no real reason for them to go out strong, but they did. And they bowed down to the Bulldogs in overtime, 88-96. And because of that loss by Ateneo, they slipped down to 9-5. And that loss actually snapped that 5-game winning streak of Ateneo. And that was that loss that made them tie second place with LaSalle. Going over to LaSalle, they also had their fate into their own hands. Last 2 games of LaSalle, they have lost. Ateneo, and then they lost against UE in overtime, 82-94, just last Thursday. Because of that, both these teams are tied at 9-5, and right now, we have this knockout for that number 2 spot, which, Boom, easily understandable. Number 2 has a twice to beat advantage. That winner will await the winner of the knockout game between USC, which won yesterday, and today's loser.
Yes.
And that knockout game might even happen as soon as Thursday.
As they say, it's getting sticky-icky here in the 70th season of the UAAP. These two teams have met twice, as you all know. Round 1 and Round 2. Let's go back July 26, 2007. At the Ateneo Coliseum, the Guards again came to play for Ateneo. A thriller in overtime, TJ.
It was another classic Ateneo LaSalle game, one that went down the wire, close all the way, and really it boiled down to the Guards. Jai Reyes was the man for the Blue Eagles in that game. He had 18 points, 15 of them in the second half, and he also had 6 assists. 6 assists from the crucial 17 assists that the Blue Eagles had compared to LaSalle's 8 only in that game in the first round.
And then I mentioned, TJ, September 9. That's just like 9 days ago, 2007, right here. Such a talked about ball game. Didn't go into overtime, but it didn't have to. It was a matter of the two teams battling it out and which team made the biggest play at the end.
Exactly, and once again, it was Chris Chu saving the day for the Blue Eagles. Not just playing well the whole game, but also hitting that very big shot in the end. You look at the score in overtime, 89-87. Halftime, it was still close. 3-point shooting was a very big factor in that game. LaSalle, not bad, 29%, but Ateneo was phenomenal from beyond the arc with 59%. Chris Chu himself had 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc.
Well, TJ, you explained perfectly early on what happened to Ateneo. They're coming off a bitter loss against the National University Bulldogs, halting their 5-game winning streak. Let's talk to Vanna Lim and see what's going on with the Blue Eagles. Vanna?
Saturday's painful loss against the NU Bulldogs brought Ateneo's winning streak to a screeching halt. But Coach Norman managed to stay positive, saying we had a good run of 5 games, a misstep, and now it's time to get back on track. And there's no time to waste, as today Ateneo once again squares off against arch rival De La Salle University. Kansas-born Kirk Long shared his sentiments, saying, "As disappointing as that last game was, the most important thing to do right now is to realize that we beat them twice. And if we trust in each other and in our coaching staff, we'll beat them again."
Talking about LaSalle, they themselves said it before the UE game. They had their fate in their hands, and Coach Franz Bumaran was happy about that. And indeed, they had their fate in their hands in the dying seconds with free throws to win it and even a long inbounds pass to win it, but yet they blew that chance. After that, they had to pray really hard that Ateneo would lose to NU, and they got just that. How do they feel now that they slipped it out of their hands, being in their control, but then fate had its chance to make them meet again today? Let's go over to Sharon Yu of the LSU.
Coach Franz told a story to his boys that I would like to share to everyone. A village was evacuated because of a forecast of non-stop pouring rains, but a person stayed inside the church praying. A boat was sent to save him, but he refused. On the second day, the floods rose and another boat was sent, but he stayed praying until the third day. He was holding on to the top of the church when a speedboat came to his rescue. He remained faithful until the last second that the rains would stop, and he died. When he asked God disappointedly, God answered, "I sent 3 boats to save you. Why didn't you take the chance?" The Green Archers may have suffered back-to-back losses against the Blue Eagles, but they've been given another opportunity to get even. Will they take it? As a basketball team, they've been given a second chance for top 2, but as a person, as human as they are, they deserve a second chance.
Well, that chance comes today here at the Araneta Coliseum. Thank you very much, Sharon Yu. Let's talk about these two teams. Head-to-head, TJ, very interesting numbers for two teams that play contrasting styles.
Exactly. Well, you look at the numbers here on your screens, you can see in the average of the 2 games, Ateneo, of course, has the edge a little bit in scoring because they won both games, 84.5 points per game. As for LaSalle, 82 points per game. But here's where it gets different. Field goal shooting. Ateneo has shot very well in the 2 times they've met LaSalle, 44%. LaSalle has not even broken the 40% mark, only shot 38%. Rebounding is going to be crucial, as it has been in the first 2 games, which Ateneo won. 46 rebounds per game for the Blue Eagles, only 39 per game for the Green Archers. And you know rebounding is a big key stat for LaSalle, as that's what made them lose also against UE in their last game in the elimination round. Looking at turnovers though, this is amazing. LaSalle only turned over with that ball 10.5 times per game in the 2 games they met Ateneo. I think that is a phenomenal stat, something you gotta credit Coach Franz and his guards. But you look at the fast break points also, 16.5 for LaSalle, only 3.5 for Ateneo. That's the contrasting side. Ateneo is a big team, they like to post up, slow it down. LaSalle wants to get steals and they want to run.
Can Ateneo make it 3-0 in season 70 of the UAAP? Coach Franz Bumaran has not lost 3 straight here in his UAAP coaching career. We'll find out. Round 3 of Blue versus Green live on Studio 23. Third play. Escueta sends it out to Chris Chu. Gets it to go! They swing it over to Salamat, and he gets it to go! What he's gonna do, the spin cycle. Oh! For Yuri Escueta. Was having the best day of his life.
Approaching Twilight Zone. This is the last 2 minutes. Show is on fire! This is against the right time. They're going over to the goal line this time.
Live from the window of the Araneta Coliseum, this is the match to determine the twice-to-beat advantage in the Final Four of your Season 70 UAAP. Let's meet the starters for the De La Salle Green Archers. At line number 6, J.V. Casio. Line number 11, T.Y. Tan. Center number 18, Ferdinand. At forward number 16, O.J. Kua. And at forward number 8, Madem Malamis. Head coach of the Green Archers, Franz Bumaran. And now, starting for the Ateneo de Manila University Blue Eagles. At forward number 7, Nonoy Baclao. Forward number 12, Kurt Long. Center number 13, Paul Arau. At guard number 5, Jai Reyes. And at guard number 17, Chris Chu. Head coach of the Blue Eagles, Norman Black. The officials for this all-important ball game, Boya Pañala, Felix Sanchez, and Rick Santos.
Coach Norman Black has had the number of Coach Franz Pomada in season 70 of the UAAP. Can they make it 3 in a row? DJ, that's always a point for discussion.
Yep.
2-0, yes, you get a lot of confidence knowing that you beat your arch rivals. You can do it again. But what about the argument of law of averages?
Well, everybody is talking about that, especially the people on the Ateneo side who are a little bit nervous coming into this game, that they think the law of averages has a big possibility of catching up on them and biting them right from behind. But then again, you look at the other respect, you look at the odds of the game, you look at what you actually have in the game,
yes.
And every time you come on the court, you have the same players, so the odds are actually always the same, technically speaking, every time you roll that dice.
How important is the twice to beat advantage? 81% of the time when the team has the twice to beat advantage, they get into the finals. They don't lose it. Maybe they lose one game, but still because they can afford one, 81% of the time they go and advance to the finals. Since the Final Four format was introduced to the UAAP, only 5 out of 26 times has a team with twice to beat advantage lost in the Final Four, and it's always been number 2 to number 3. It's never been number 1 to number 4.
Except for last year.
That's right.
Well, we're looking at the starting 5 on the floor right now, Boom. O.J. Kua, who only played 1 minute in the last time these two teams met in the second round, is interestingly starting right now for Coach Franz Pomada. Kua is a tweener. He can play the 3, he can play the 4 for Coach Franz Pomada. And I say that because I think this is a small lineup for Coach Franz to put in O.J. Kua as the starting power forward against a tall Ateneo team who he knows has the advantage in rebounding against them.
How about Ferdinand starting the game for De La Salle, blocked twice by Norman Baclau, including the earlier. That's 3 times already.
Yep. We're talking about height is might when you want to compare these two starting 5s. Of course, La Salle wants to take advantage of their speed.
You have to remember that De La Salle has a depleted front line. Brian Elan, of course, suspended. We all know the story,
Right.
DJ.
Well, let's put it in perspective. What they're missing from a guy like Brian Elan. For the season, he's averaging 15 minutes a game, 5 points, 5 rebounds a game. Not bad at all. In fact, in their second round matchup, where they lost another close one, he played 22 minutes and had 9 points and 6 rebounds.
That's what they're going to miss.
So you can say he is a factor,
Yes.
especially when they play big teams. In fact, he's only started very few times this season, but he started against Ateneo and he started against UE. So it goes to show how much importance Coach Franz puts in Elan against big teams.
Nonoy Baclau, speaking of bigs, coming off a 7-block performance against the National University, has tied the record of Jeremy Cruz this season. And today he already has 3. Casio looking very aggressive here in the early goings, and it's Baclau with his 4th block in the ballgame. D.Y. Tan travels in that sequence.
That's really what Baclau brings to this big Ateneo team. They're already big as it is. They got guys like Joe, Ford, Arau coming off the bench, but Baclau is such a big guy with long
Athlete,
arms.
he's an athlete.
He's athletic and with long arms, and something you can't really teach, good timing.
You can't get that kind of stuff from Ford or Joe in a consistent manner because he's just more athletic than the two.
And, well, before we go there,
Let's go to Sharon Yu to report from the DLSU side. Sharon?
Boom, the team huddle started earlier than usual because the whole team knows that this time, with the fateful meeting of the two rivals, winning is the only option. The pointers written on the whiteboard were basically the same. Essentially, every pass and every shot must be contested, locate the shooters, and hustle back on defense. Offensively, they shouldn't just stand, but they need to move. The press needs to be broken with proper communication and coordination. But even if the players may have memorized these pointers already, they know how each game is different. Each game is an experience. Over to you, Boom and TJ.
Thank you very much, Sharon. So obviously they're not going to dwell on the defeat against UE. They're not going to dwell on the 2 defeats that they had against Ateneo the last time out. They are tied right now 2-2. Nonoy Baclau not only showing some up defense, but some explosiveness on the other end. Now he tries a 3, top of the circle. Whoop. That rattles out. D.Y. Tang picking it up. Sends it over to Casio. Drawing a crowd. But there Malabes. Outside. D.Y. Tang puts up a 3. That's a little bit long.
7 minutes remaining, and we are tied at 2. Jai Reyes orchestrating, Ferdinand defending, Ford Arao. Arao has loved playing against De La Salle University.
He really likes to go down in the post, work very hard, use the number of moves that he has in his pocket to get around the big men of La Salle, the lesser experienced big men, let's put it that way, compared to the veteran years that Ford Arao has in his league.
T.Y. Tang enters enemy territory, draws a foul. TJ, the last 2 games of De La Salle, they shot 9% and 28% from three-point area. They have been down in terms of perimeter points. 19 only as an average in those 2 games. 35 for Ateneo. That's a huge factor. Can the guards of La Salle struggle for 3 straight Ateneo games?
Well, bola, you never know. And shooting is something that's difficult to be accurate with, especially from long range. But if you look at who you need to step up, for La Salle, I think they really need their guard to step up because that's where the most number of veterans are in that position. You've got guys like T.Y. Tang, J.B. Casio, and even Cholo Villanueva comes off the bench. Malabes is a rookie, but still, he's got some shots from the outside and from beyond the arc. Compared to the big men naman, hindi mo sila maasahan lahat to carry the project.
Almost a turnover. Ateneo on a 3-on-1. Kirk Long goes high and is fouled.
Well, you see Ateneo very aggressive there once they broke that press, not settling for a half-court setup and realizing the advantage they had in 3-on-1 and went right for it.
Confidence-wise, TJ, when you talk about La Salle, losing to Ateneo, losing to UE, what does that do to them? Put it in perspective. These are the top teams of the league, and they almost won those ball games.
Well, that's the point. Even though they did lose back-to-back, they did lose to Ateneo and then UE, they know those were 1-ball games for them. You know, I don't think Coach Franz has to remind them time and again, guys, napanalo natin yun, just that the final score was not ours. Even that last shot of Meyerhoff against Ateneo, just a half a second away, it was a 1-ball game. So they know in the back of their mind, and they have to keep reminding themselves in this game that they can beat this team.
This is PJ Marua coming in, nothing there. Maclau again with another rebound. Chris Chu looking at his options. Sets up Kirk Long. Doesn't force the shot, drives inside though, puts it up, gets his rebound. Fordano from 15. No. Ferdinand hauls down his 6th rebound of the game. 5 offensive rebounds already for Ferdinand. 6-minute mark of our first quarter. J.B. Casio finally knocks one down. When you talk about this guy in the first quarter against Ateneo, he started off 0-7, he started off 0-6 against in round number 1 and round number 2 respectively.
Well, he does not shoot well, at least to start against Ateneo. And in that last game, he was 1 out of 15?
15 eventually.
Yeah,
started
eventually.
0, yes. In that,
if there's one guy who wants to get a shooting back on track today, against this particular team, it's J.B. Casio. So we do expect him to be shooting hot. We do expect him to not be gun shy. That's J.B. Casio, always ready to play for De La Salle.
biggest game of their lives, possibly. As we go into a Samsung timeout with Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. Back in a moment.
Okay.
Cholo and Villanueva, Chris Chu, the veterans for the team, featured in our Samsung matchup.
What a nice matchup that is going to be. Chris Chu, 17.6 rebounds in both games. That's an average. Same with Cholo Villanueva, 16 points and 4 rebounds.
Oh, nice takeaway by J.V. Casio on the Kirk long pass. Casio goes to his right. Hesitation move, doesn't force the situation at the 5:25 mark of this first quarter. Going back down to Ferdinand. Ford Arrow shutting the door. Casio looking at the clock at 3:07, so it's time to release. That short Chris Chu comes away with a rebound.
No real movement on the ball there for LaSalle. Didn't get even to go on the weak side.
LaSalle is 2 out of 14 so far, and Ateneo is 2 out of 6 from the field so far in this game. DLSU with 7 offensive rebounds already.
LaSalle is at 14 attempts. Really? Wow.
Casio put up around 3 already. But they've had a lot of missed opportunities on the offensive end. Now it's time to bring in Vanna Lim from the Ateneo side. Vanna?
Saturday is all but forgotten. As Coach Norman told his boys, you all know your roles by now, so I expect you to perform. And this is the one game where we really need each other. Play strong and come out with lots of energy, and whatever happens, get back to defense. Also, he said, play the game of your life, Boom and TJ.
Thank you very much. Well, to a lot of players, Vanna, Ateneo and LaSalle side, this is the game of their lives. Our Samsung courtside update with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. D.Y. Tang, Kirk Long. They go inside to Rico Meyerhofer, who has learned to play off the bench, and partly also because he has found himself in foul trouble early in almost every ball game, DJ.
Medyo tinitipid na siya ng konti ni Coach Franz Marin kasi when he starts the game with so much aggressiveness, so much intensity, medyo minsan gigil masyado.
Dang puts it up. That's long. Boy, the percentages of De La Salle in this first quarter is going down. And another block on the Ateneo side.
If I'm not mistaken, in the last possession, Baclao had 2 blocks, so easily has 5 or 6 already.
6 blocks to be official. Remember, he is coming off a 7-block performance against NU.
Kapit who? Some guy they missed.
Fordaro, he likes that spot, but he overcooks this one. And a foul from behind by Nonoy Baclao.
That's going to be his second foul, so not good news.
Yep. 4 points, 2 out of 3, 3 rebounds, 6 blocks for Nonoy Baclao.
Threatening for a double-double of a different kind.
We are tied at 6. It is Villanueva, Tang, Barua, Walsham who has stepped in, and Meyerhofer, while Joe Picamacolum and Rabah Al-Husseini now coming in as the bigs for Coach Norman Black, who, by the way, is 1-1 in earning the twice-to-beat advantage. And trying to earn the twice-to-beat advantage. Coach Franz Marin has an 87.5 average in that one. We'll get to those numbers in a bit. In the meantime, PJ Barua has missed 3 shots here in the first quarter. Kirk Long trying to execute the spin. Oh, what a tough shot.
What a tough move.
On Rico Meyerhofer at that. And it gets the crowd up from the blue side of things.
You know what happened there? Whether intentional or not, that spin move of Kirk Long made it possible for him to get that shot over Meyerhofer because nalagay si Meyerhofer right under the rim. Hindi na siya nakaangat ng gusto. Hindi na niya maabutan yung bola kahit tapik man lang. That shot by Kirk Long was something out of the magic book.
Watch in our slow-mo brought to you by Smart, the power to lead. I was asking some friends last night. I posed the question of who will be the new hero in this ballgame? If there will be one. If there will be a new hero. Meyerhofer against Al-Husseini forces this one. Barua picks it up and puts it right back in. Remember, Meyerhofer already playing with that one personal foul. He's been here on the floor for only a minute.
Interestingly, so far LaSalle has been winning the battle of the boards, at least on the offensive end.
Yes. Chris Chu, short on that one. Walsham hauls him down. D.Y. Tang waits for more backup. Under 3 minutes to play. 9-8 with Ateneo ahead. Not anymore. Yes, he fell down really bad, PJ. We have a Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. And the whole side of LaSalle in prayer right now because they do not see, or they see Rico Meyerhofer wincing right now in pain. We'll get an official report later on. We'll take this timeout right now.
Walking it off, he's not even trying. Oy. Okay. He wants to walk it off. It's gonna hurt. Balik na yan. Wala na yung advantage ng bilis sa katalon. Advantage ng bilis sa katalon. Actually, we got to the game.
That's right. Nice move na eh. Pilit ko pa yan.
Hindi, pag binubad ko na yan, mamamala na yan. Matake ko yan. Matubad ko yung tape sa agad.
Rico Meyerhofer was picked up by his teammates. Now he's at the bench. They're going to attend to him. Let's look at that swoop to the lane.
It was a beautiful pick and roll play, but then he falls on his teammate's foot, PJ Walsham's foot. That's a ooh, wow, look at that.
A
That's
full twist. That's a full twist.
Was that on Job? It looks like on Job's foot, actually, yeah. It was a full
Well,
twist
obviously, as a lot of those injuries go, that's unintentional, obviously. 3 minutes in the game, 2 points, 3 rebounds already for Rico Meyerhofer, is averaging close to 12 and 7 per ball game. Back to live action. Eman Montfort submitting to a double. Chris Chu, who had a miserable game against NU, puts it back to Eman. This is everything. Ken Baracoso! That should be good for his confidence.
Yeah, off the bench, coming out of nowhere to get that offensive rebound and the putback.
Simon Atkins and Kishko have come on for Coach Franz Kumare. Look at that defense of Ateneo. And a forced entry by Jonathan and Reva. Active defense by the guys in blue.
They were all over the place. Active hands right there, denying the passing lanes by the Blue Eagles. And of course, moving their feet, making sure they were in front of their man all the time. Here's Ken Baracoso tracking down that air ball from Montfort for the easy putback.
Slow-mo brought to us by Smart, the power to lead. Eric Salamat, who has been an impact player for Ateneo, now steps into the court. The guys in blue as we come up the 2-minute mark of our first quarter of round number 3 between Ateneo and Salle. Baracoso loses it, kicks it back out to Salamat for the 3. That's short. Kishko hauls down another rebound. Simon Atkins playing the point, sees an opening and draws the foul against the pocket rocket of Ateneo.
Almost blocked there by Montfort, who had some ball, but of course he threw his body right at Simon Atkins, who interestingly blew by the pocket rocket, who we know is one of the quickest players in the league right now.
A lot of promise for Simon Atkins, as we know.
Yep.
DJ Barua moves out, JD Castro moves right back in and scored 2 points in the halfway point of this first quarter. Hold up there. Simon Atkins.
Medyo mabilis ngayon yung rotation ni Coach Franz Kumare. Makabalik na kagad si JD Castro. The way he's pulled out some players, put some players in a little bit faster than usual.
Atkins misses both. So Ateneo still holding on to a 1-point lead. So many missed free throws and so many missed attempts for Salle from the field.
So in other words, they're not shooting well at all from either the field or the free throw line.
We'll definitely give you the numbers on that. In the meantime, Montfort finding Al-Husseini from 16 and he knocks it down.
He likes that spot. He was begging for that pass, clapping emphatically for him to get that ball.
And nobody was in front of him, or at least a little shorter.
There you go, shorter, definitely.
Kasha tries a three. He has really struggled. And then Montfort slows it down with a minute and loose change left. Maracoso. They're looking at their options. Salamat inside again from the elbow. That's short, but Montfort coming away with a rebound, loses it to JV Castro. Gives it up to Cholo. Mid-range jumper. It rattles out.
Ooh, two white shirts going at it for the rebound. Hindi nagkaamuyan. Kishko, Simon Atkins battling it out for that offensive rebound that should have been theirs.
44 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And Ateneo holding on to a 3-point lead. Maracoso sets up Al-Husseini with the fake. Montfort, top of the circle, is short, and he drags down his low miss.
That's the third offensive rebound of 1 point already, even though the other one he rebounded it and he lost it. But still, the hustle is there, being shown by the guards of Ateneo.
Maracoso for three. Montfort tapping it. Atkins with 20 seconds in our game clock. Goes to his left. Wild on the play. But picked up by PJ Walsham.
Looking for the charge of that play. No charge called. As Atkins rammed right through Maracoso, who was set up there for quite a time.
5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is a slim 1-point lead. And Ateneo will not be able to put an attempt up in the nick of time. And as we end the first quarter of the game, enjoy cool snackables, 35 pesos and below with KFC's Wow Sulit Snackables. Time now for our Central High performance of the quarter, and it's got to be the spin cycle move by Kirk Long over Rico Meyerhofer. But with all said and done, it is only a 1-point lead for Ateneo over DLSU. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum for more of the UAAP on Studio 23. Watching us all over the world, TJ, we are live all over the TFC, the Filipino Channel 2. So lahat ng Pilipinong nanonood, mabuhay kayo. At salamat sa inyong panonood. TJ, some numbers for the first quarter. Very low scoring at 13-12.
Very low scoring ball game in the first quarter. You can see that tough shot made by Eric Salamat on the run, and he gets the foul and he'll go to the line. But looking at field goal percentages, Ateneo was pretty bad at 31%, but even worse is Salle at 19%. Folks, Salle was 5 out of 26 from the floor.
Eric Salamat, tough is the operative word for this guy. I said this guy comes in with a lot of impact, and this is why he is admired and loved by the Ateneo community. It's that toughness that he brings off the bench and the impact that he creates for the team.
And interestingly, Salamat didn't have much of an impact with Ateneo in the first round.
Yes.
It was really only the second round games that he had some really crucial games.
Remember, it is the second round that they had a 5-game winning streak.
Right.
Broken only by a team that had nothing to play for but pride.
If I remember,
National University.
after they had that 10-day break because of the delay with the storm in the schedule, that's when Salamat had a little bit more playing time, and Ken Baracosa's playing time was limited.
Yeah. That was Rita Paraleo, the muse of Ateneo, again attending this game. All important one, the winner goes on to take twice to beat advantage. And we know how huge that advantage is.
Ball was zipping by everybody. I think first Jones.
That's an 81% percentage of a team that has a twice to beat advantage, as we see Rico Meyerhofer hobble back into the floor. That's huge.
He was retake. He looks like he's still limping on it a bit. So I don't know how much he'll still be effective with his, this guy needs his speed and his jumping ability.
His mobility too, let's see. He looks to be fine, but that lift wasn't there.
Yeah. The move was there, but the lift definitely was not.
Salamat has Cholo Villanueva in front of him. They send it out to Montfort. 8:40 to play in the first half. No direction on this offensive for Ateneo. Then on their 24, Maracoso has Meyerhofer on him. Forces that one. Raba puts it up for the jump hook. Castro comes away with it. Cholo has Walsham on the other side. Cholo sidestepping to the hole.
Hindi ba yung medyo mas mahirap? He could have dropped it off to Walsham, streaking on the weak side. But then Cholo, knowing Cholo, he has those tricks up his sleeve, especially in the open court.
He's not the fastest of all guys, as a foul is called by the referee away from Cholo Villanueva. Now again, this is a matter of angles here, DJ.
That's going to be foul number 2 on Cholo Villanueva. So quickly, Coach Franz picks up Kishkoff on the bench and T.Y. Tang.
Let's look at it from this angle. This is where the other referee
There was some
was.
There was an elbow to elbow. There was contact.
Of somebody throwing a coin on the court.
Piso.
It's
I can see it's a piso.
It's still rolling.
Still rolling. So the refs see it now.
T.Y. Tang back.
You know, that foul would not have been a foul if Salamat, who is it? Was it Salamat?
I think it was Baracos.
If Baracos was not in the air.
Okay.
Kasi off-balance siya sa area dahil sa contact. Pero
Okay.
kung nakatayo lang yun and there was that kind of minor contact, normally that would have been called a foul.
8 minutes, some loose change remaining in the first half. Kurt Long, James Manahas on him. Back to Raba. The high-low play doesn't materialize for Ateneo.
Second time, a horrible pass from Raba Alizon for the high post and low post.
Panira na rin, TJ.
Also, had a good look also, but he opted not to shoot.
Nobody was in front of him. It is Ateneo LaSalle round 3, and the crowd has definitely swollen up now.
You know this during this time, but
And it is a school day and an office day. They have now made their way to the big dome as Castro continues to struggle in this game. He was 1 out of 15 against Ateneo in that last game, but he was fouled.
No, foul away from the ball. But the question is, does he get 3 free throws?
There, usually.
There. Okay. Or maybe the foul is called on the rebound, not on the release.
Manas, nowhere to go. Unable to adjust. Meyerhofer puts up an awkward-looking shot.
Meyerhofer does not look good. He's hoppling. He's favoring that right angle. He doesn't look 100% at all.
Fordano has Kishko. They gave him the baseline. A jump hook for 4. It works.
Not an easy one. One of his favorite moves, but it was a little bit further out than his comfort zone.
It is 18-14. We send it over to Vanalim right now for Ateneo.
After that electric first round, the team was told to get to the basket today. Let's not make the same mistakes as the first round. They're also told to run because jogging is just not going to cut it today. Recognize the defense that they're in and adjust. And also play good defense because it's what'll win us this game. TJ?
Thank you very much. Well, they have forced LaSalle into a lot of bad shots. Thank you, Vanna, for our Samson courtside update. With Samson, it's not that hard to imagine. JV Castro. Well, we got a feel for this guy. Missing the turnaround in the Ateneo game, the turnaround, the potential game-tying shot, missing the free throw against the UE. The 1 out of 15 struggles in that round number 2 encounter. So there's a little bit of talk about JV Castro and the pressure that he's in, especially being one of the veterans already of the team.
Well, the thing with JV Castro, I mean, we've seen him be successful in the past, but he would do it out of the shadows. He would come out of nowhere.
Yes.
Talagang hindi inaasahan magiging hero at kaya niya maging hero. But the question is, when his name is on the line, when he is expected to be a hero, can he be that hero?
Speaking of heroes, will Kirk Long come on today for Ateneo? He already has 7 points on the pull-up and a 4-point lead with under 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. It is Manahas who is able to put it up and in.
Manahas, who normally starts for Coach Franz coming off the bench today, seemed to be very comfortable with his role here, and he has a tough task of trying to check Kirk Long. And another foul here by LaSalle almost in the backcourt. That's how much pressure they're putting on the ball carriers of Ateneo. And you question maybe too much pressure? The fouls might speak for themselves.
Speaking of LaSalle, let's throw it over to Sharon Yu for DLSU.
Boom, coach told the team that we need to get those rebounds. The blue team did better on the defensive rebounds during the first quarter, 10-7. Coach also gave Kish a pat on the back for his good hustle. And something to cheer about, Rigo's back since his sprained ankle was retained. And oh boom, you may notice number 15 on their jerseys That's Brian's jersey number. They surely miss him. Over to you, Kuya TJ.
Well, we already talked about the fact that what they're missing and what they're losing with the suspension of Brian Elad, as we find Kishko adjusting in mid-air out of the DY Tang assist, and Meyer Hoffer just having a problem.
Getting up. He's forcing it right now. I mean, not to say forcing bad shots, but he's forcing the issue with his ankle. From the way it seems, he's hobbling every step of the way. At pag tumatalon lang siguro yan, at pag tumatakbo, tinitiis na lang niya yung sakit niya.
And that's what this game sometimes is all about, DJ. They leave it out all on the floor. And we go into a Samsung timeout. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine.
Hulog ating letter I.
Back here at the Araneta Coliseum. Join us in UAAP Season 71 already as we plan ahead.
Not for tickets, huh? Not for tickets. For sales.
And of course, we see that season to surpass what has already happened. The season 70, where this has been characterized with so much drama. And I don't know about you, DJ, but the semifinals, the Stepladder, or the playoffs have not really started yet, but for every single hardcore UAAP fan, they already started yesterday.
It's been playoff atmosphere since the middle of the second round.
That too.
With the way the teams have been so much bunched up together in the middle of the pack and right behind UE.
We saw the trivia rather, we talked about that earlier. Coach Franz Pumanen has not lost 3 in a row.
Ever in his UAAP coaching career.
And to think that he is on the brink right now. In the meantime, Kurt Long waits for more backup, but then decides to show it. He knocks it down.
Nobody wanted to check him. I mean, you're going in transition defense. The most important guy is the guy with the ball.
He is 3 out of 4 from the field. Ateneo's ahead by 4. Yuri Escueta sends it over to Chris Chu right now. 5 minutes to play in the first half. So far, Ateneo turns that ball over for the 7th time, but Yuri Escueta takes it back, puts it up and in! Yuri Escueta, the hero of round number 2, who shot perfectly from the field, announces his entry a little bit late, but with a lot of impact.
And he wanted that foul. He saw how Pangas was going to challenge him with a layup after this beautiful clean steal.
A cool and clean steal of the game brought to you by C2 back-to-back.
Look at the bump. He's going to look for that bump and still keep his composure for the layup.
He was 5 out of 5 from the field in the round 2 encounter. Plus, of course, you can add in the free throws, 3 out of 4 in that game. And all of a sudden, The biggest lead of the ball game for Ateneo, 25-18 with 4:35 remaining. Meyerhofer explodes.
That time around, he took off from his left foot. The healthy foot, the good foot.
Yuri finds Chris Chu, loses possession of the spheroid, fakes, wires.
Tap to the hand.
Referee didn't see that apparently, but Dermalavis is ahead of the pack, and a hard foul by Peru. An unsportsmanlike foul at that.
You know, it was a hard foul, but Chris, to me, seemed like he went for the ball. But normally, the thing is, it's not his reputation. He doesn't normally give fouls to begin with. Second, he normally doesn't give hard fouls. Baka hindi niya natuwa. He didn't like the tap on the elbow and the jump shot.
And Chris Chu came up to Dermalavis just now. You know, remember, we have had a few things happening in the last couple of games involving De La Salle also. So obviously everybody's on their toes right now.
Well, let's see the replay if this deserves an unsportsmanlike foul or a flagrant one. He had ball. He had a lot of ball and a lot of shoulder. I don't know what the referees are calling an unsportsmanlike foul for. In fact, some can even argue it's all ball.
And JV Gasho again. I admire this guy stepping in as always, trying to.
Here's another angle.
Keep a cool head. Yuri Escueta, JV.
From that angle, you could even say he had all ball. I don't know what that referee, closest to the action, saw.
Dermalavis misses. As cooler heads have prevailed and Coach Franz Kumaren. Coach La Salle to a twice-to-beat advantage in 7 of the 8 years he has coached the Archers. An 87.5 clip for Coach Franz Kumaren to a twice-to-beat advantage. That's how high the percentage is for Coach Franz. And Chris Chu and Bader will renew their matchup. 25-20 is our score. They find Castro in the corner. Long following him around. D.Y. Tang open for the three. Steps in closer. Tang is short. And Meyerhofer puts it back in.
Air ball there because of the good rotation on the perimeter by Ateneo. But Meyerhofer somehow finding some magic in himself with that hobbling right foot, still making himself a factor in this game.
This is what I'm talking about, DJ. Games like this, you forget a little bit of the pain. You forget a little bit of the injury. And you know what you have to do to contribute to a win. And Rico Meyerhofer is doing just that for DLSU. Dermalavis commits his 3rd personal foul. And DLSU is over the limit.
Guards are racking up the fouls. As you mentioned earlier, yung matataas na pressure defense nila from the backcourt, medyo masyadong madikit and they're getting called for the fouls by the refs.
3:39 to play. Joe McCullough goes out. Zion Lader, his first appearance, replacing Kirk Long. Fordado also back, as you see Ken Maracoso on your screens. Played earlier and made a bucket for the Blue Eagles. 3:39 as Yuri Escueta makes his first free throw. Ateneo has gotten the twice-to-beat advantage 4 out of 9 times. 44% it has made the Final Four. And those 4 times, Ateneo's advanced to the finals 3 times for a 75% clip.
The history actually looks good for both teams. We talk about advancing to the playoffs into the postseason. Another foul called on La Salle here, and there's still 3:36 to go in the second quarter.
And they only, TJ, made the finals as a 3rd seed once. That is when they upset UE and won the title over DLSU 2002.
Ah, okay.
But of course, they don't want to be a 3rd seed.
No. And you know, I gotta say this, both these teams, they do not. They don't want to meet UST. In a 1-game knockout.
Exactly.
Pwede pa yung twice to beat advantage eh. Medyo ayawan pa nila yun. Pero in a 1-game knockout, no way.
UST is considered by many in this stepladder format as the wild card
the dangerous
of the bunch.
Team.
Yes.
The dangerous team.
And let's not forget the defending champions.
Absolutely.
Of the UAAP. 28-22. Resounding win by UST over FBU yesterday. And a jam-packed and very noisy Araneta Coliseum that can only be matched by this crowd today for round number 3 of Ateneo La Salle. D.Y. Tang Out to Barua, struggle from the field, adjusts in midair.
Nice move there, getting away from the double team, splitting it with that spin move, getting the floater to drop.
So DLSU, with everything that has transpired, DJ, is only 4 points behind Ateneo. As BJ Barua, by the way, is 2 out of 5 from the field. Chu finding Aro from 16. Nothing there. Castro comes away with another rebound, his 4th of the ball game. Accelerates, puts it up. Everything but the shot for JP Castro. Chris Chu down to Ford Aro against BJ Walsham. They're giving him the baseline. They take it. Salamat in traffic. Nothing there. Zion Later out of nowhere is fouled by BJ Walsham.
Ateneo has had the benefit of some amazing offensive rebounds with some of their guys coming out of nowhere. You know, so far, Ateneo has not been very, very successful at the post. Salle has been playing some pretty good soft double teams. Medyo nagka-cat and mouse sila. May single coverage, but they have a guy under the basket just in case the postman of Ateneo spins baseline.
Guys in blue are ahead by 4 as we go into the Samsung timeout. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine.
Sulat mo nga sandali, pati yung fast break points.
You're watching the UAAP on Studio 23 and also watching us all over the Filipino channel. Boom Gonzalez together with DJ Panotok, Sharon Yu, and Vanna Lim for DLSU and ABMU with 2:30 remaining. It is a 30-24 count with LaSalle shooting 25% on 10 out of 40 shooting here so far. 10 out of 40. Make that 10 out of 41. Ateneo is 10 out of 26. Make that 10 out of 27. And Later out of nowhere again. 4 points and 2 offensive rebounds by Zion Later.
Talk about instant offense and making an impact with the limited minutes he's had so far on the floor.
Biggest lead of the game at 8. But JV Casio answers right away with his 6th point. And LaSalle again. Sour shooting in the first half. And we will compare that with round number 2 later on. Still, that shooting is deserting him, especially from the 3-point area. Salamat is blocked by PJ Walsham. Bag looking at his left. Finds Casio, all day to shoot. He steps back, goes down to PJ Walsham. And a tough angle to work with. Walsham gets it back, puts it on the floor. Barua will try again. 3 out of 6 from the field for PJ Barua.
Finally, they find him. Earlier, T.Y. Tan could not notice that he was wide open on the wing when they came down in transition that they were 5 against 4.
A minute to play in this first half. On a battle for the twice-to-beat advantage between the bitter rivals. Chris Chu now stepping into traffic, recovering in time, and then turns the ball over. It is LaSalle with possession, and they're on the run. T.Y. Tang from 15, that's short. PJ Barua tracks it down. Casio wanted to get fancy to T.Y. Tang.
You know, PJ Barua has brought in the intangible so far in the game from the bench for Coach Franz Humaran. He's had the garbage points, he's had the hustle points, he's had the hustle offensive rebounds, and the recoveries that Chris Chu dump on his head there. We don't know where that came from.
Fast break points, it is actually Ateneo in the lead, 8-4. They only had 5 in that round 2 encounter. Casio trying to create space for himself. Yuri Escueta taking it away, and it's Kurt Paracosa right now. And he waits for more teammates. Escueta in traffic. Way for Daro underneath. Traveling infraction ball on the former Stepladder red card.
A good defense that time around on the baseline for LaSalle. Naka-recover sila even though they were initially beat there by the drop pass.
So we're playing with 16 seconds left in the first half. D.Y. Tang, we're all hoping for the last shot. 6 seconds. D.Y. against Chris Chu. Finds a way to put it up and no goal for De La Salle. And that will be the last save in what has been a frustrating shooting night or afternoon for D.Y. Tang and the rest of the Green Archers. As we end the second quarter, the game enjoyed tasty snackables, 35 pesos and below with KFC's new Wow Sulit snackables. Time now for the Accenture High performance of the quarter. Yuri Escueta. Last 2 games, TJ, 20 points against LaSalle. The rest of the season, he has only scored 18. Wow. So he loves playing against the bitter rivals, and he's showing it now. The lead is 4 only for Ateneo. For the battle, the twice-to-beat advantage returns after these.
competition between the Ateneo Blue Babble Battalion and the DLSU Pep Squad. This halftime event was brought to you by Samsung. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine.
You've got dreams, oh, you've got visions. Now's the time to do it.
From deposits and loans to investments, cash management, and insurance, we'll energize your life. RCBC.
Excellence, that is our passion. We do it with innovation. Do it with energy. Do it with RCBC.
Member, PDIC and BankNet.
Oo, ma'am. As promised.
Ano man ang ating usapan,
May kakabit po, sir. We'll call you back.
Thank you.
ano man ang ating kasunduan,
Online na po kayo, sir.
Uy, salamat.
Tawag lang po kayo anytime pag may kailangan pa kayo.
Thank you,
ano man ang aming pangako, gagawin namin ang lahat matupad lang ito. Ganyan ang serbisyong Globe. May isang salita. Globe, abot mo ang mundo.
Taking care of business. Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. Taking care of business, it's alright. Taking care of business all the time. Taking care of business, we're taking care of business.
Face-off between Coach Franz Fumaren and Norman Black is right now momentarily at a standstill because we are at the half. And Ateneo looking at a 4-point lead at 32-28. Welcome back to the Big Dome for ABS-CBN Sports. Boom Gonzalez together with DJ Manotok. And DJ, 4-point lead with Ateneo shooting way better than LaSalle, shooting more free throws and better percentage than LaSalle. Why is it only a 4-point lead for them though?
Well, they've had the benefit of some rebounds. Talking about LaSalle, if you look at the team stats right now, LaSalle has actually gotten 16 offensive rebounds compared to only 7 offensive rebounds for Ateneo. I guess something they learned in that UE game.
Okay.
They were totally clobbered on the offensive boards. But you look at the shooting, as you said, LaSalle shooting miserably from the field. 12 out of 46, that is only 26%. Ateneo, in fact, got even better in the second quarter. They have now shot for the first half stat 39%, 11 of 28 free throws. As you said, ang dami ng free throws ng Ateneo, and they've shot it well. 10 for 11, only 4 out of 8 for LaSalle. But here's the blocks. Here's another interesting stat.
Yes.
LaSalle has no blocks whatsoever in this whole game, but Baclao himself has 6 blocks already, threatening that record of Ateneo done by Japeth. I think he had 8 or 7 in one game a couple of years back when he was still here. Turnovers though, Ateneo has 11 already, and LaSalle, still an amazing stat for me to see, only 4 turnovers given up by DLSU. And that's, I think, you're looking at the turnovers and the rebounds is one of the reasons why LaSalle is still in this game, and they're only down by 4.
Amazing also that both teams have not shot well from the three-point area. 0 out of 6 for LaSalle, 0 out of 7 for Ateneo. In the meantime, Kurt Long has shot 3 out of 4 from the field for 9 points in 13 minutes. And Rico Meyerhofer, who suffered a bad-looking sprain, recovered just enough to score 6 points in 8 minutes and come away with 5 rebounds too.
Well, even though he was injured and he was taken out re-tape, we even noticed him hobbling and kind of favoring that right foot, still scoring 6 points, 4 points coming after that injury. Looking at Kurt Long, 9 points, Baclao 4 points out of 4. If you're Coach Norman Black, you're a little bit concerned that Chris Ju right now is still scoreless and is 0 out of 2 in 14 minutes on the floor.
And remember, he did struggle against National University. One of the things that they were worried about, especially LaSalle, that he might come back today with a big game. Nothing yet so far. I'm reminding you also, Season 71, we're already revving up for that. In the meantime, we'll take a break. We'll be back with third quarter action from the Big Dome. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum for more of the UAAP on Studio 23, Season 70. The battle for twice to beat Edge is what's at stake on your Knockout Tuesday. It's Ateneo versus LaSalle. Ateneo with a 4-point lead. Let's put it in perspective, DJ. Compared to the first round and the second round, this is, again, I say, sloppy basketball so far compared to those two games.
Exactly. We saw better quality ball games in the first round and the second
shooting.
round. Better shooting. You know, but not to say that it was a defense that was lacking in those first two games, but the defense today has been really high on both sides of the floor.
Baclau, who suffered 2 personal fouls. And the rule for Coach Norman Black, you have 2 personal fouls early in the game, you sit out the whole first half. We've seen it before with Chris Chu and all the other players. It happened again with Nonoy Baclau. 6 blocks in that first half, 7 blocks against NU in a losing cause though.
And that was a bad shot there by Baclau to start the third quarter for Coach Norman, who was not happy with that decision.
A foul on the driving Rico Meyer-Hoffer.
We'll find out who this one is on, as there were so many hands there from different blue shirts. Looks like it's on Chris Chu. Or 7? I thought it was 17, but it looks like it's on Baclau. That's number 3 right now on him. So we'll see if Coach Norman pulls the trigger right away and pulls him out. Looks like he's going to do just that. Rabbi Al-Husseini is already at the scorer's table, as Rico Meyer-Hoffer proving us all wrong, saying, hey, I'm fine.
Gutting it out.
You know, no pain, no gain.
ELSU 2-2 this season, coming off a loss. 1-0 coming off back-to-back losses. They are 6-2 when they reach 78 points or more. 7-1 when they reach 46 or more rebounds in a game. A few things for all the stat junkies as JV Casio able to put it up and in.
What a steal and what a shot by JV Casio.
3 out of 10 from the field is JV Casio so far. You know, DJ, I bumped into somebody going into our, you know, we do have our breaks, our bathroom breaks too, during halftime, as a foul is committed on the driving Al-Husseini. And somebody said, you know, we have a lot of experts, armchair experts here, as we look at this cool and clean steal of the game, brought to you by C2, JV Casio. Even if they're behind by 4, the pace may be favoring the De La Salle side as of the moment. Do you agree?
Well, we're not seeing the normal pace that Ateneo would like, because interestingly, in fact, Ateneo had more points in transition than La Salle. They had 8 points in the fast break in the first half compared to only 4 for La Salle. So, kung mag-running game to, kung magsabayan to sa takbuhan, both Ateneo and La Salle, I think, a lot of people also agree, it's favoring La Salle. But so far, we'll see what happens here in the second half. As you know, Coach Norman really wants to take control and wants to establish his half-court game.
Meyer-Hoffer thought about it. Barua puts it up and in! And he sends that baby home as DLSU takes the lead. 35-34 at the 8-minute mark.
The first 3-pointer of the game from either team.
Exactly. As we mentioned, 0-6 and 0-7 for Ateneo at La Salle in the first half when it comes to the booming triples. Iwai Tang, oh what a tough shot. And he doesn't get the roll. Jai Reyes hauls it down. But La Salle is back in transition. Jai with a hesitation. Sends it out to Al-Husseini from 60.
He likes that spot. He likes that spot. He hit one earlier in the first half. Catch and shoot from 15 feet.
Rabah Al-Husseini is 2 out of 4 from the field. And now, quality picking up for these two teams in terms of the game. 36-35 for ADMU. JV Casio once again.
That's the problem with JV Casio. Of course, you want to defend him, be up in his face, don't give him any space with an outside shot. But JV has learned that when you keep too close to him and stay too tight, he's going to blow right by you.
And he can finish with either hand, DJ. Jai Reyes settles for the long 3, rims out. Meyer-Hoffer secures the repossession. And D.Y. Tang will slow things down as they are in the lead by 1, 37-36. Keep in mind, La Salle has not won against Ateneo this season. They are 0-2. Meyer-Hoffer forces this one! And a 3-point play opportunity on a humbling Rico Meyer-Hoffer.
And Coach Norman Black and Rabah Al-Husseini saying, what did we do wrong defensively? It was Meyer-Hoffer who ran into him, and Al-Husseini just had his hands up in the air, but not the case according to the refs.
Our KFC Assist Delivery brought to you by KFC. Plus, you can try the new fully loaded meal, all your KFC favorites in one box And thank you for that. We tried that fully loaded meal earlier, TJ, as we see Rico Meyerhofer in this three-point play.
There you go.
Opportunity. He's fully loaded today.
Yep, and on the replay, you could see, medyo gumagalaw pa to si Alaseni. He was still getting his feet established there. That's why he was called for the block.
And Meyerhofer, 4 out of 10, 7 rebounds, and a bum ankle to boot. He makes the free throw for the 11 points that he has. It is Casio, Meyerhofer, and Barawa leading the parade. Let's throw it over to Vandelim from the Ateneo side of things.
In the dugout, Coach Norman inspired his boys by saying, look at each other because this is it. The opportunity is here right now, and I would need everyone to get enthusiastic about it. Don't lose that basketball and keep turning out those fast break points. You've got these guys on the rope, so don't you dare relax now. Turn over to you, Boom and TJ.
Thank you very much. It has been tit-for-tat basketball. This one being brought just by Smart, the power to lead. Yung tapik na yun na hinabol, pangalawang foul ni Rico Meyerhofer.
No, third foul. So that's bad news for Coach France.
Oh, and a short free throw by Zion Later. And the ball ends up with LaSalle. Casio on the run. What a pass! But Zion diving and breaking up that play.
Great hustle there by Zion. Imagine he was the one there contesting that rebound, and still he was firsting it down and break up that long pass.
That's what he really brings to this team.
Yep.
Extra possessions, extra hustle, extra muscle. That's his role, and he plays it to the hilt. Villanueva. We haven't seen him aggressive today. LaSalle could not get the offensive rebound. 2-on-1 on the other side, but Arao is running. And he is blocked. They send it out as Ateneo will reset to Chris Chu. And he hits that baby home.
What a way to get that basket on that possession. To salvage it after getting blocked on a supposedly easy layup.
41-40. The lead swings back. To Ateneo as Casio misses on the step back. 5:35 to play. Later sees daylight. Nothing there. Tries again. And a foul is called on LaSalle.
Wow, what hustle from Zion Later. Not giving up on every single possession. Going up for every single rebound and making LaSalle's big man pay.
We have a Samson timeout. We all need it. With Samson, it's not hard to imagine. Ateneo in the lead. 41-40.
Dito. Hello? Dinig ako. May request ako, Direk. May request ako, Direk.
5 minutes for T.Y. Tang.
Direk, pwede ba tayo pagbalik? Yung dalawang drive and drop ni Jai Reyes. Gusto ko i-emphasize na yung ginagawa ng mga guards ng Ateneo, yung nagda-drive sa drop, yung... Hindi, yung isa kay Aluseni, tas yung isa kay Later. Drop sa... Yung kanina, yung kay Aluseni, nag-drive siya baseline, kinik out sa 15-foot jumper. Tapos yung kay Later naman, yun yung drive tapos drop sa baseline. Yung kay Chu kasi scramble yun for the rebound tapos 3-point long shot, diba? Kung nandiyan pa. Kasi kahit di pa siya nakaka-shoot, factor siya dito sa third quarter. Paano to? I'll pick it up. Sige. The last couple of plays for Ateneo, Jai Reyes has done the job, not maybe in the points, but in the assist category. Driving and dishing it out to his teammates, attracting the defense with his slashing moves. Here's the last one driving inside, dropping it off to Zion Later. So the little Jai Reyes, the hero in their first round matchup, so far showing his worth as a good point guard today with the assist.
And in tandem with Zion Later, who's in the free throw line right now. 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. Mr. Extra Possession, Zion Later, as Ford Arau tries to stick it back the tap, ending up with Chris Chu. Arau from 13, still no go. Zion keeps it alive. And it's Simon Atkins who throws it over to Cholo Villanueva, who is fouled, and the bucket is good.
What a hard foul there by Ford Arau.
And he tried.
Tough shot. He tried to actually catch him. That's the problem. He knew his body was going to have full momentum, so the right arm was down. Actually, maybe not to throw him out, but to try and catch him on the bump.
Cholo Villanueva taking the contact, putting it up, and getting it to go. And the lead, or actually we are tied at 42. Here's one angle, TJ. Look at him invite that contact.
Well, malayo na yung bola dun. No? So
Oh.
Ford Arau's both arms are on the shoulders of Cholo Villanueva. So that is a good call this time around. A good call by the refs for a hard flagrant foul. The early one with Chris Chu, I didn't agree with. This one, I think, is a good call.
And Cholo Villanueva, as they say, just brushes his shoulder off. As we send it over to Sharon Yu right now. Sharon.
I have great news for the girls. It is time now for our strict actual cleanser. More than your usual face of the game, as I personally handpicked Adrian Garcia, 14 years old from Ateneo de Manila. This guy sure is a chick magnet. Huge actual cleanser, more than your usual male facial cleanser.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Personally handpicking an Atenean.
Well, there you go.
That's
You gotta be
spirit.
fair.
That's
You gotta be
spirit
fair.
for you.
Sharon's wearing blue shoes.
Well, I guess the looks, obviously goes for both schools.
Well, here's the thing with this play, Boom. One free throw, the basket was made, he gets a free throw, and they still get possession. Unfortunately, he missed the free throw.
7 lead changes, 3 ties in this ball game.
So this could be a swing of momentum if they score here.
And I like how the referees have maintained peace and order here.
And also the assistant coaches of Franz Pumaren making sure nobody from the bench jumped onto the court, as they were all up on their feet.
Coach Franz Pumaren, 7 out of 8 years, he has coached the Archers to a twice-to-beat advantage. The LSU, in the meantime, 0 out of 3 free throws in the 2 flagrant fouls called today. And a little lull here at the Araneta Coliseum as action, pace, and quality has picked up here in the third quarter, and we are tied at 42. Former board member of De La Salle, Mr. Danny Jose. 5:14 to play. I wonder what the lull is all about. All right. Let's go to Sharon Yu for a report then.
Boom, Coach Franz locked the dugout during halftime, but the staff told me that he wasn't happy that we gave up 11 turnovers during the second quarter. Offensively, he wants the team to take care of the ball, pass it around, and he demands aggressiveness. He doesn't want the boys to just match the aggressiveness of the Eagles. He wants them to surpass it. The 12 fouls committed during the second quarter also disappointed Coach Franz. Defensively, if the calls are tight, the boys were told not to force the shots, rather look for the open man or a shooter with higher percentage. Boom and TJ.
Thank you very much, Sharon. She talked about the fouls that you pointed out in that first half. A lot of them were useless.
Yep, exactly. You look now, you got PJ Walsh on the bench with 2, Rico Mayhoffer on the bench with 3, and I think Malabes also on the floor now playing with 2 fouls.
Under 5 minutes to play. In terms of the aggressiveness, she mentioned that the coach Franz Pumaren wanted more. Obviously, LaSalle turned it up a notch here in the third.
Yes, they did.
Chris Chu against Cholo Villanueva. 6 on their 24. Jai Reyes trying to find space, and he does, but he's blocked by Ferdinand. And that is the 4th block in this quarter for DLSU. Atkins doesn't force it. Actually, back-to-back traveling infractions called on DLSU.
So medyo tentative.
Rookie mistakes.
The rookie players of LaSalle earlier, it was Malabes who got called for the travel. Now it's Atkins. As you look at this, Ateneo and LaSalle have actually last met in the playoff for number 2 back in 2004. LaSalle won that one.
Mataas ang rate talaga ng success ni Coach Franz Pumaren as another useless foul.
And when we say useless move, it's because the guy is 35 feet from the basket. No absolute threat whatsoever to get a bucket or even for them to get a near steal.
Yes. 12 turnovers for Ateneo, 6 for DLSU. They only had 4 at the half. Impeccable number for De La Salle. That's another steal by Cholo. 3 on 2, but Ateneo catching up. Villanueva carving space, and he comes up short. 4 minutes to play in this third quarter. A battle for twice to beat. They leave Jai Reyes. Jai sends it out to Christian for another 3. Gets it to go!
And that's what happens when you leave Jai Reyes open. He's going to threaten to drive, attract the D, and drop it out, kick it out.
That is the second triple for Ateneo in this ball game. Both coming from Chris Chu, who is 2 out of 3 from that area. Jai once again from 15 is blocked. Ferdinand blocking this time once again.
So now the blocks of LaSalle have caught up here in the third quarter.
Yep.
Earlier in the first half, it was 6-0 in favor of Baclao alone.
Now, already have 4. As Malaves puts up a 3. That's a little wild, and Lader comes away with a 6th rebound and repossession of this game.
Lader has been big, dude. He has been big on both ends for Coach Norman Black so far here in the third.
Jai once again to Chris Chu. He thought about it. They send it out to Otto for a long 2. That's short. 3-minute mark. And the lead is 3 for Ateneo. Cholo goes back to his left. Tough angle. Doesn't get the roll. And a couple of misses now as both teams have soured up.
Well, you can't blame LaSalle because this is a tempo that they like, but I think they've rushed their last couple of shots.
Chris Chu against Simon Atkins. 10 on their 24. Salamat uses the roadblock, pulls up, and he got it.
Nice execution there on that pick and roll. Patient move there by Salamat. Assessing the defense, reading it. If they're going to give that space, he drained the jumper.
5-point lead. 5 points for Eric Salamat. 2:20 to play in the third. Cholo from 15 rattles it in. And a 4-man substitution for De La Salle when we come back for our fourth, make that our 2 minutes and 15. Back to Ateneo Coliseum for the thriller that is Ateneo and LaSalle round number 3. The extra game to find out who will take number 2 and a twice to beat advantage. Gonzalez, DJ Balota for ABS-CBN Sports. We're glad to have you with us as Jai Reyes as quarterback for Ateneo splendidly missing that 3 goal in desperation.
Well, he hasn't shot well. He's 0 points today, but he does have 6 assists already.
Walsham loses it in the basement. Salamat will wait for more teammates. Walsham captures up on defense at the 140 mark of this third quarter. Almost another steal by Meyerhofer. Sorry, Cholo Villanueva on Eric Salamat. And another rebound by Rigo Meyerhofer. That is his 8th of the game. But they're Malavis. Long three. And Later.
Well, look out that. That's a rebound. Rebound number 8 for Zion, but number 6, but he also stepped on the line.
In the meantime, we are looking at Mr. Tony Ataide, our Silverworks outstanding alumnus of the game. LaSalle Green Hills High School 70 and College 75. He is with an ad agency, and show your true colors with your own custom-made college ring from Silverworks, the silver that works. Silverworks will be giving away for the very first time a specially designed UAAP championship ring to the eventual UAAP champions. Yes, DJ.
What a tough three-pointer there by JB Casio as you were giving tribute to our alumnus of the game. Tying the game at 47 with barely a minute to go here in the third quarter.
He is 1 out of 5 from beyond the arc, so that's a big three for him. Ateneo unable to take it back. Cholo Villanueva on the run. What a steal by Yuri Escueta. Pickpocket job.
The steals of Escueta, Salamat, and Cholo have been spectacular so far in this game.
We are done in at 47 with 27 seconds remaining in the third, and a turnover will negate that steal.
So 25.9 to go with a 24-second shot clock for LaSalle, 1.9-second differential. We do expect them to milk this for the last possession and not give any seconds for Ateneo to shoot.
How about 15 turnovers already for Ateneo as we look at Ryan Aranya, who has been in many of these battles for Ateneo LaSalle. 15 huge turnovers for the Blue Eagles. We count it down to 14 seconds here in the third quarter. Kiwai Tang with 0 out of 8 from the field so far, TJ.
Also struggling.
He still has possession. Casio open for 3.
Gets it to go! Beautiful execution there for De La Salle. Perfectly mapped out play by Coach Franz Romanen. I think they got exactly what they wanted, which was a big three-pointer off the handoff to JB Casio.
And you don't want to give this guy his stroke back as Gary V celebrates the end of the third quarter of the game. Enjoy sweet snackables, 35 pesos and below with KFC's new Wow Sulit Snackables. And time now for our Central High performance of the quarter. Why not? 16 points, 6 out of 14 shooting, 5 rebounds. Scoring in DLSU, as Sharon reported, more aggressive in that third quarter.
And they were hot in that third quarter as they, remember they had a horrible shooting half in the first half. They picked it up in the third, highlighted by 2 threes by JB Casio.
Casio again, maneuvering inside, short on the staff. Meyerhofer with the offensive rebound, forces the issue, gets it back, puts it up again, and is blocked by Mame Baclau. That is his 7th block on the ballgame. Eric Salamat will go all the way.
And one. What a huge play in transition there. Nobody saw Salamat coming.
Here we go again, TJ. One more time around the block. These two teams exchanging blows here at the Ateneo Coliseum.
Nice pass there by Yuri Escueta, recognizing Salamat all alone.
A fast break brought to us by Petron XCS. Salle overtaking Ateneo in that third quarter because of points off turnovers, really. That's what did them in. Who will be our PS Bank Maasan player of the season? It will be known during the UAAP Awards in the second game of the finals. In the meantime, De La Salle behind by basket. And a foul called on Yuri Escueta.
No, it's Eric Salamat actually.
Oh, my apologies.
Eric Salamat was the one who tried to get that steal on the what we call sundot ng mga gwadya.
Time now for a Jack and Jill fantastic moment with Jack and Jill Life's Fun. I was talking to Gary V earlier, asking him whether it was his first game. It is this season.
This season.
Season. And he's hoping to come up with a win. And PJ Walsham hoping to contribute to that win as we are now deadlocked for the 6th time of the ball game.
Wow, Kurt all the way home.
And here we go. This is what the people came to see here at the Ateneo Coliseum, and everybody watching us all over the world too. Kurt Long is 4 out of 5 from the field. That's an offensive foul.
Will it be an advantage foul though?
Well, he did.
Yeah, because JB Kasha was actually still ahead of the backcourt. So another great clean steal by Eric Salamat. This guy has got great hands defensively, really playing the passing lanes and finding the opportunities when the guy he's defending is very careless with the ball.
4th personal foul for Bader Malabes, which forces the hand of Coach Franz Kumaren to bring in PJ Barua. I'd like to say hello to our friends who are watching live from ANC Global, TJ. TFC viewers can catch the Stepladder series live on ANC as well. And that we are the only Filipino channel that can do this across all territories. Hello to people in North America who stays up late to catch who wins this game. In Sydney, it's after work. In Dubai, it's lunch break. In Milan, before they go to work. We do have a lot of UAP fanatics in Dubai, Milan, Sydney, and North America. Thank you for watching us all over the world, courtesy of ANC Global.
And we have a foul here on a three-point attempt by a guy who has hit nothing today from the floor. T.Y. Tang gets bailed out here by a foul by Baclao, who was not his fault because the guy defending him, which is Yuri Escueta, was actually behind from the screens, naiwanan. So Yuri pushed Baclao to try and challenge the shot, but Baclao could not control his momentum, who barged and bumped right into T.Y. Tang, which got the foul, and 3 free throws for T.Y. Tang, who even on the foul line, apparently has his trouble.
Brother Rudy Oka. Joining us here, as always. T.Y. Tang missing the front end of the 3 free throws. The only points that he has in this game is from that area. JV Kasha with 16, 10 coming in that third quarter. 0 out of 8 for T.Y. Tang from the field. As we'd like to remind you right after this broadcast, our Samsung UAP Sports Center still on Studio 23. A recap of the whole week as an interested spectator is right behind us, actually, TJ.
Is he a spectator or cheering?
I would believe spectator first.
Maybe cheering first.
Cheering in the inside, maybe. Dito Pumaran, of course. Samsung UAP Sports Center right after this Ateneo LaSalle ball game. So don't tune out of Studio 23. 5 steals for De La Salle, 3 for Ateneo, but 13 fast break points for Ateneo. Wow. And 6 for De La Salle. That is something that is strange. A lot of De La Salle fans as Kurt Long breaks up that play.
I gotta say it this way because it's true. The 2 foreigners of Ateneo, Long and Later, have given them the intangibles today and the hustle points.
Oh, Aro turns the ball over. Marua to T.Y. Tang. That is his first field goal of the ball game. 1 out of 9. And it came at an appropriate time at the 6:45 mark. And the lead is 2 for DLSU.
That's big.
Lead changes.
And that's big if T.Y. wants to improve in his confidence coming into crunch time.
Kirk sends it out to Rabbit. Escueta for 3. Overcooks that one. 2 LaSalle players.
Actually, 3 LaSalle players in the vicinity of that ball. Nobody caring who each other is, and they lose it.
Usap-usap. Yun yung sinasabi ng mga coach. As Mac Cardona joins us here at the Araneta Coliseum. You know, in that fourth quarter, DJ, of that last Ateneo-LaSalle game, LaSalle, with 7 minutes and 13 seconds, as we look at Coach John Reyes, who has joined us again here, was in the lead 73-66 after an 8-0 run. And then they faltered, and then they let Ateneo back in. The second game, the second round, when Ateneo scored 25-22 in the fourth quarter and eventually snatched the win via the Chris Q 3. JV again. He is hot.
He is very hot right now. Fourth triple for JV Cash in the game today. And third action.
3 out of 7 for the field, and good ball rotation courtesy of PJ Baroa.
And nice lead from the big man of LaSalle.
And this is the biggest lead for De La Salle in this ballgame. Jai fading away, and Aro puts it back in.
Nailed out there by Aro. What a bad jump shot by Jai Reyes. He was looking to pass, and then he decided to shoot it, so he actually did not look at the rim practically.
Casio out to Ferdinand. D.Y. Tang made his first field goal earlier. Nothing there. Aro hauls down the rebound. They send it over to Kurt Law on the other side with 5:19 to play. 16 on the 24 of the guys in blue. Fordado underneath, sends it out. It is a 3 by Kurt Law. Aro for the offensive putback. 5 minutes to play. And LaSalle's lead down to 1 as we go to Vanderlip.
Coach scolded the team after that third quarter performance, telling them we had it all under control. And in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes, they took it all away from us. Why? It looks like we forgot to play defense. He asked them, please, don't give up on defense. He also reminded his point guards to stop dribbling and start shooting. All yours, TJ.
Thank you, Van. And speaking of defense, they gave up the lane to D.Y. Tang, who set up Rico Meyer-Hopper, and LaSalle in the lead by 3 once again as we give you our KFC assist delivery brought to you by KFC. This one, PJ Baroa to JV Casio. Try the new fully loaded meal. All your KFC favorites in a box.
Well, so far, Boom, in the fourth quarter, helping LaSalle to enjoy their slim but biggest lead so far, 5 points, has been their veterans.
Yes.
JV Casio, D.Y. Tang, maybe not in shooting, but also in assisting, and Rico Meyer-Hopper.
Eric Salamat in the meantime gets the 2 points back as we go to Sharon Yu of DLSU.
Boom, I've never seen the boys so intense the whole game. During the fourth quarter huddle, Coach Bransford exclaimed, "We need good shots. Kung wala tayong shots, huwag natin pilitin." The Blue Eagles out-rebounded us 14-12 during the third quarter as JV shouted with affirmation, "Rebounds tayo, rebound." Coach Jack told the team that we need to push the ball but be under control. Rico was also reminded to veer away from useless fouls because he's already tallying in 3. Boom and TJ, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And D.Y. Tang has found his stroke here in the fourth quarter. 63-62. DLSU with under 4 minutes to play.
And he got the lead back for Ateneo as during the report of Sharon, Jai Reyes just split the white C wide open. Nobody wanted to guard him in transition, and he said, okay, easy layup for me, and he got the lead for Ateneo.
Reyes, the door was shut. They go back to Chris Chu. Aro has a double team in front of him. Raba Al-Husseini forces this one up and will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Excellent patience there by Raba Al-Husseini. He could have gone up for the shot the moment he caught that ball, but had one more dribble, one more drop step, which got the contact and the fourth foul of Rico Meyer-Hopper.
Actually, it's the third of JV Casio.
Oh, it's on JV Casio,
yes.
okay.
So that's...
so yung sundot yung tinawagan ulit.
And then Coach Franz Pumaren will rest JV Casio. You know this is going to be a pretty
It's going to be short. It's got to be really short for him. 3:27 to go.
D.Y. Tang, 0 out of 8 in the first 3 quarters. As you look at Joseph Yo, 6 points in the fourth, 2 out of 3 in this fourth quarter. It is Tang and Casio, DJ, that has kept the hopes of DLSU alive here in this ball game. Here we go again, 3:27 remaining, and our 8th deadlock on the ball game. 12 lead changes, 63 all for the battle for twice to beat advantage.
And to avoid USD in the one-game knockout.
Whatever is more important to you, man.
Either way, man. No one wants to play USD knockout.
Nobody wants complication.
No.
That's why you swept the whole league.
Yep.
D.Y. Tang again! Huge lead out of 4 in the fourth quarter, TJ.
Talk about waking up at the best and most important time.
Big time players, the veterans come out to play.
That's going to be a foul of D.Y. Tang. Good call here by the refs.
And these are best friends, Chris Chu, D.Y. Tang from the Savior basketball program.
And is that 4? D.Y. Tang? No, that's only his second foul.
A slow-mo brought to you by Smart, the power to lead. D.Y. Tang, 8 points on 3 out of 4 shooting in the fourth quarter.
And interestingly, he's shooting over a much smaller Jai Reyes. Coach Norman continued to gamble with a smaller guy defending T.Y. who's getting hot. Now he pulls Jai Reyes out, puts back in Eric Salama together with Julius Cueta.
Guess what? J.V. Castro got a 40-second rest and is back in the ballgame. Maybe even less. I never trust my math. 3:02 remaining. 65-64. The big-time players again in the spotlight for both Ateneo and LaSalle. Ateneo has won 2 games in this season 70. Will LaSalle break that streak? Coach Franz Bumanan has not lost 3 in a row in his coaching career. Tang is looking for somebody to help him. 7 on the shot clock, and Wilson is alone.
Wide open, totally forgotten in that transition, the rotation of the defense of Ateneo. Nobody picked up PJ Walsham.
And breaks the 9th deadlock of the game. 67-65. Another nail biter here in the Big Dome. And you're watching us live on Studio 23. Chris Chu against Jonathan Villanueva. Chu trying to find a way. Escueta steps closer, puts it up, rattles out. Offensive rebound. Fordano is blocked and checked, but he gets it back, and a foul is called on an Atenean.
That was a huge block there by PJ Walsham. He has not been much of a factor today. Hit a jump hook earlier, but that block on Fordano was big.
Huge stoppage for De La Salle. Time now for our Cannon power shot power play of the game. We captured Kirk Long going to the spin cycle for the 3-point play opportunity earlier in the first quarter. In the meantime, back to live action. 2-minute mark brought to us by BS Bank. Here we go. Castro puts it up and in. J.V. Castro, 21 points.
And where was the help defense for Ateneo? Where was the shot blockers? No Fordano. Moy Baclaw is on the bench with 4 fouls.
A breakdown defensively by Ateneo. 69-65 with under 2 minutes to play. And we all need the Sampson timeout. With Sampson, it's not that hard to imagine.
Yeah. If they have time. Rebound agad after this one.
Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum, and again, we have entered the last 2-minute territory, brought to us by PS Bank. 1:54 to play. JV Castro dismantling the defense in the last play to give them a 4-point lead. He is 6 out of 9 here in the second half compared to his 2 out of 8 in the first half. And he has now collected 21 points, 6 rebounds. The guards, DJ of De La Salle, and the veterans too, the veteran guards.
There's a foul here on LaSalle early in the play of Ateneo. That's going to cost them a couple of free throws.
It's a penalty. They're over the limit.
Yeah, so not exactly what the worst thing they wanted to do in that fast break. Check out this pass. White tag to Rico Meyerhoff,
who is our Nike Spotlight Baller of the Game with a bum ankle and all. And the guy wasn't active. We saw how extended the ankle was.
So Ateneo is benefited by those 2 free throws with the clock stopped at the 1:45.
3 out of 3 from the free throw line for Chris Chu, who today has 9 points, 2 triples, for the man who has killed De La Salle in the last 2 games. Maya in the triple area. 69, 67, a minute and 37 to play.
Finally, Noy Baclao is back in the game for Ateneo, although he has 4 fouls.
White tag, top of the circle, 3, off the mark. That was wrong.
Early in the shot clock.
That was a heat check right there, LJ. Chu against that, almost taking it away, and he does. The race for the loose ball, and it will be LaSalle ball.
Smart move though by Chris Chu. Regardless if he saved possession for them or not, he avoided an easy layup for LaSalle, tapping that ball out of bounds.
Boy,
White tang is still on the floor. He hit his face on the floor
exactly.
hard.
This is what UAAP basketball is all about. They're just giving it their all right now as we all go into the Samsung timeout. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. We will be back to check out on TY and Chris Chu after these.
Then hand off tayo kay...
Come and meet the ball! Come and meet the ball!
Hold the play, okay? Hold the play. We gonna run one wave. Okay?
Pag nakuha mo na, pare, sa'yo
Badir, stay here.
Coach, pag nakuha ni JB sa kanina.
Kanya na, titipin mo na dito. Okay? Rico. Okay?
No illegal screen, ha? No illegal screen.
Watch out. Cholo. Tyron. Okay? We attack.
No illegal screen.
Tyron dito. Illegal screen. Okay? Badir, you look out. Tuned. Rico, sunod ka. Mga medyo magsaktin mo.
No illegal screen.
Kami ng oras. Hey!
Okay, I'm calling the overtime now.
What happens? Asin ba?
This is gonna go overtime.
What's up? Walang illegal screen.
Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum with 1:14 remaining, and it's De La Salle possession. Last 2 times, La Salle has crumbled in the end, DJ. The last 2 times against Ateneo. JV Castro puts up a shot. White tang and JV Castro missed. Big steal by Salamat. Salamat spins, comes up short. And Salamat tries to save it. It will be La Salle possession.
Unfortunately, he forced the issue on the fast break rather than pulling it out, realizing it didn't have the numbers. But again, what a huge steal by Eric Salamat. I'd say he has like 5 steals in this game.
Ateneo is 3-4 this season when they score less than 75 points. They are at 67 right now. We are down to 45 seconds. Can La Salle break the 2-game winning streak of Ateneo? DY puts it up. Still no goal. Castro saves it. Oh no, he ran out of space.
On the same sideline, Got Eric Salamat right out of space with 34.5 seconds to go. Coach Norman Black wants to map out a perfect play to get a basket and tie the game or even take the lead.
This game will boil down to execution as we go to Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine.
We don't presume that we're gonna switch. Sino na sa loob sa kanila? Salamat, okay? Juicy, oh. Hey, walang yan.
Jai's back in the game.
Last 2 games, man.
That's great.
Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum, nobody using their chairs anymore. Edge of your seat action. Paying patrons standing up for the final 33 seconds of this ballgame. Ateneo has been able to knock down threes when it matters. The last couple of games and the last couple of matchups. Let's see how this one unfolds. Reyes against D.Y. Bang. 9 on their 24. The looping shot doesn't work. Ateneo gets the offensive. Still no goal. 13 seconds remaining and they go to J.V. Castro is fouled by Kurt Long.
Big defensive stop there on 2 putbacks by the big men of Ateneo.
Guess what, DJ? Probably a little bit of retribution in the hands of J.V. Castro right now, who will shoot 2 free throws. Let's look at that play again.
Jai Reyes could have dropped it off there. He could have dropped it off to Ford Arau. Or actually Noy Baclao. But here, Meyerhofer maybe got some arm. If we could replay that again, could have got some arm, but the refs let him go with it.
And JV taking the ball. He wanted it. And Kurt Long fouling J.V. Castro with 10.4 seconds remaining. 69-67.
We'll listen to Coach Norman Black and see what he has left with 10.4 seconds.
Zion! Kurt! You coming for him? You coming for him? Alright? Steve! I am happy now! We're going to foul the table.
Don't let Casio get the ball.
Listen up. Deny Casio as much as possible. Let Meyerhofer get the basketball, guys. Alright?
Walang free throw, ha? Malapit sa Meyerhofer.
10 seconds left.
Hey, match up, ha?
Listen up for a second. Alright, this is what I'm going to need. Once that ball goes out of bounds, I'm going to need a banana cut. Jai, banana cut and go. You're already going to be down. One of the things, take off and screen them. I need you to go this way. You come this way. Let's go. You got it?
Well, Coach Norman Black reminding his boys they are out of timeouts no matter what happens here. They were not in the penalty.
Yes.
So no free throws yet for J.V. Castro. They want Meyerhofer to receive this pass. That's what
we heard, yes.
The little I heard amongst the noise of the La Salle gallery behind them. They want Meyerhofer to get the pass and they want to foul him.
Yes, my apologies. The sign of penalty was not yet in effect. They don't give it to Meyerhofer. They give it to Cholo Villanueva.
That they let Meyerhofer get the pass.
He sort of,
but it was dangerous because he had the lead going towards his basket.
And T.Y. Tang just didn't want to give it to him.
Not at all. Even though he had the lead on Noy Baclaw. Now, Cholo Villanueva, a test on the line. Just to put it in numbers, what this game is worth, Boom, the winner only needs one more win to make it to the finals. The loser will need to win 3 times in a row.
65% shooter on the line for the veteran Cholo.
Way short.
And that's nerves.
That's nerves
right there.
That was way short right there.
Salle is 9.3 seconds away. Ateneo, do they have one more big shot in them to send this game into overtime or win it? As Cholo gives them a 3-point lead. No timeouts for Ateneo. Am I correct, TJ?
No timeouts. This is just a substitution. Wallstrom comes in for Cholo Villanueva.
And this is it. 9.3 seconds. 70-67. The winner. Twice to beat advantage. Will sit pretty and wait for the loser to go up against the dangerous defending champion.
Wait. There's 6 blue shirts on the floor? No. 5. Okay.
Here we go, folks. 9.3 seconds. Eman Montfort is in the game. Eric Salamat. They send it out. Reyes steps back. Lander, even if he makes that. Even if he makes that.
What they wanted.
It's not what they needed.
1 second to go. That's it. That's the game.
Salle wins it. And Coach Franz Pumares does not lose 3 straight. T.Y. Tang is cramping. But nevertheless, Salle pulls this one out. 70-69. Another thriller. Coach Franz Pumares will continue his march to the Final Four, where he